Shalom Israel. First, I want to give all praise and glory and see Howell by Shemai Outside by Shem Kakadash. Never want to see Apostle Elder Millstone, Peace Citation, one of Israel. And for this lesson, I want to title it Untainted Wealth. All right? And basically, this lesson is going to stem off Proverbs 10 and 22. And let me read it. It says, the blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. All right? And that's what the Lord is about to grant us. Lord willing, be part of the elect. There's going to be no sorrow with it. You know, we're going to be able to fully enjoy it. All right, it's going to be untainted. You know, unlike you see Jake in the world, majority of the time, you know, they sold the fuck out for their riches. All right, they received their consolation, their consolation prize here. All right. And look what comes with it. You know, all types of sorrow. You know, demons fucking with them. They're on all types of drugs, and you know they're all just strung out and shit because you know it didn't come of the Lord ultimately. All right. Now the blessing we about to get of the Lord, hey, it's unsearchable. All right, and it's gonna be untainted. Going to be untainted. All right, let me reread it because I like the last part of it. It says, the blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. All right, now in captivity, you know, we have all types of sorrows and shit with it. You know, Haggai 1 and 6, you know, a bag with holes. You know, you get some, and best believe you're not going to hold on to that shit much long because, you know, there's always some shit that comes along with it. All right. What's that saying? More money, more problems. But you know what the Lord's about to give us. You know, Lord willing, pay the elect. You know, it's like I said, as the title says, untainted wealth. All right. I had a few scriptures. Let's go to Psalm 92 and 14. All right, Psalm 92 and 14. It reads. Psalm 92, I'll start at 12. It says, the righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our power. You know? And who's that? The elect. It says, they shall bring forth fruit in old age, and they shall be fat and flourishing. Right? So that's you know what we're laboring for. You know, we want to be fat and flourishing, you know, underneath the blessings of Yahweh Bashmi outside. Because you read Deuteronomy 28. Let's just get it. This was the reward for serving the Lord. Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Salaki, if I said 15. Deuteronomy 28 and 1, it says, and it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord, Yahweh Bashmi outside, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that the Lord Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. All right, and that was the blessing for following instruction. You know, the instructions were law, statutes, commandments, but we broke it. So when you read the 15th verse on down, that's what we're in right now. All right, now granted, you know, at the very end of this shit. And the Lord, he's lifting these curses off of us and putting it on our enemies. Deuteronomy 28 and 30. Or Salakia, Deuteronomy 30 and 7. Alright? But let me read it. It says, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, and thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power. Alright, let's read this. Hold up, Salakia. It's like I'm driving shit. Goyim on the road. Alright. Third verse says, blessed shall it be in the city, and blessed shall it be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall thou be when thou comest in. Blessed shall thou be when thou goest out. says, and the Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in the storehouses, and all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord Yahweh thy power giveth thee. All right, and that's just blessings. All right, and mind you, real wealth, real riches is gold, silver, land, cattle, actual substance. Not FRN notes or crypto and all that bullshit that Esau has lied about, saying this is real, this is wealth, this is what makes you rich. Because these people are about to see when this shit crashes that shit is not real money. All right, but the Lord, he's about to bless us, he's about to bless us with substance. All right, because what does scripture say in Psalms? The meek shall inherit the earth. All right, and beginning with Yahushua, because Yahushua, it's ultimately his kingdom, but we're gonna be joint heirs with him. Lord willing, we be part of the elect. Israel's gonna be joint heirs with Yahushua. Beginning with the elect. But let me read. I think, what is it? I like the. Where's it at? Okay. I'm reading the 12th verse. The Lord Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain into thy land in the season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. All right, and that right there is living fat. You don't gotta borrow. That's pure abundance. That's wealth. That's riches. All right, that's resources that you got. And guess what? We ain't gonna have to borrow. Just like how we go to Esau for the one of all things. You gotta go to him for shelter, clothes, so on and so forth. Which ultimately, we know that the Lord provides it all. But soon we gonna be ruling shit. Alright? So that's what we're trying to achieve. Fuck this world and fuck the quote unquote riches here, because these aren't real riches. Alright? And the things, the quote unquote riches you do get here, it's tainted. It's it's not in its purest form. It's all fucked up. Even the cattle and shit. Like, you can get cattle, but it's all vaxxed up and all types of. It's all polluted. There you go. That's the word for it. And guess where that word polluted appears at? Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, for it is polluted. It shall destroy ye with a sore destruction. All right. But let me read the 13th verse. And the Lord Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy power, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. All right, now look at these Rothschilds and these banking elites and shit. These niggas is living fat. These niggas control. They own people. They own countries. They move shit. So we're gonna be on the same level but greater. Because what does scripture say? John 14:2. In my Father's house are many mansions. So the Lord willing to be part of the elect, we're gonna have controls of galaxies, planets, other realms. Like, bro, this is what we're looking forward to. Untainted wealth. All right, let's look at that word wealth. All right, wealth, happiness, rich, opulent, wealthy persons collectively. That's untainted. Oh, that's fire. Wealthy, happy, prosperous. And that's what's coming to us. Just nothing but blessings and prosperity. All right, because we under the curses. All right, now everything we put our hand to do. There's let's get that right here. Deuteronomy 28:20. The Lord Yahweh shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thy hand to do, thy hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. And you look at our people. Everything we put our hand to do is nothing but vexations. All right, and we under these curses, bro. But the Lord, he's about to redeem us real soon, So that's what we're hastening for, ultimately, the blessings. All right, fuck this place. But let me get that one. Let's see if I have some fucking rattling. All right, let's go to Isaiah 61:6. I like this one. All right, Isaiah 61:6. I'll start at the first verse. It says, "The Spirit of the Lord Yahweh is upon me, because the Lord Yahweh hath appointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek." Who are the meek? The Israelites, begin with the elect. "He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives." That's what's coming. The Lord is about to liberate us from this captivity. In the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Are we not bound here in Babylon? "To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord Yahweh, and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn." And who's mourning? The Israelites, beginning with the elect. All right, and that just goes to show you that this is only for obviously it's only for the elect, but it's only for the nation of Israel. Because you look at Esau. Esau ain't fucking mourning. Esau is in his kingdom now. Granted, he's at the last seconds of his shit. So the Lord, as I said earlier, through the Spirit, Deuteronomy 30:7, the Lord shall put all these curses upon thine enemies. And so these Edomites, they starting to feel these curses. They starting to feel, they starting to realize what it is to be, or how it feels to be Jake. All right, but but that's besides the point. It just goes to show you that Jake is the one that's mourning. All right, not these heathen nations. All right, it says, "To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, that the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified." All right, and it begins with this truth. All right, this is what basically I guess you say, I'm trying to think of the right word, but it basically gets your mind, it gets your mind right, ultimately. Because without this truth, how would you believe what's to come? How would you know what's to come? All right, it's through this truth, the Spirit, power, Yahweh, Shemi outside. And this goes to show you that we at the end of this shit. All right, because the great awakening is happening. But let me read fourth verse. It says, "And they shall build the old waste, they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations." All right, and these heathens, they gonna rebuild the kingdom. All right, or I should have said they gonna build the kingdom up. All right, and they gonna rebuild Israel. Our homeland. Where them gutter rats are at right now. The Lord, he's gonna destroy that place, but guess what? It's gonna be rebuilt back up. All right, but Babylon is not gonna be rebuilt back up. All right, it's gonna be a desolation for generation and generation, as Scripture says. But it says, fifth verse, "And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the aliens shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers." All right, and that right there is the slaves. We're gonna have servants and handmaids, feeding our flocks, feeding our animals, our cattle, our livestock, and they're gonna be plowing, our vine dressers. They're gonna be planting stuff. All right. Sixth verse, "But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord Yahweh." And who are the priests? Who are the priests of the Lord? Israelites, because isn't it written that the nation of Israel are a nation of kings and priests? It says, "Men shall call you the ministers of the Most High. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves." All right, so the riches that these heathens got right now, hey, that's all ours. Let me get that. This is the Lord boasting. Haggai 2. And start at just 8. This is straight to the point. It says, the silver is mine and the gold is mine, saith the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is the Lord. The whole earth is the Lord's. And guess who's gonna give? Guess who he's gonna give it to? You know, Yahushua. You know, as well as the elected nation of Israel. It's like I said, you know, we're gonna be joint heirs with Yahushua. But you know, we got the world to look forward to. Alright, fuck a pay raise at the job. Now, you know, there's nothing wrong with a pay raise. If you can get one, you know, get it. Why not? But our mind is not, you know, in this place. Our mind is out of this world. You know, we seek for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwells righteousness. Alright? But let me see if I can get another scripture. No, we don't gotta. Oh, shit, we can get Job 20:15, kind of to end it all on that point. You know, we shall as I read Isaiah 61:6. Damn, let me get it again. Salaki. Isaiah 61:6 says, here's straight to the point. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in the glory shall ye boast yourselves. Alright, you know, look at the stuff that they have. You know, which is really ours, because shit, they just took it. And you know, the riches are gonna go back to you know, its rightful owners. And that's the nation of Israel. Alright, Job 20:15, it says, he has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Alright. Let me skip down. It says 18 verse. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Alright, so the riches, let's get this Sirach 10:8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. How do you think this man Esau got his riches? You know, it wasn't through purity. You know, it was through rape, rob, and murder. Right? That's what his those are his receipts. You know, that's his track. That's his track history. All right, and there's no denying it. It says the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, guess who got next? We do. You know, Yasher Allah. You know, Jacob, Israel. We got next. We're the next to rule, and with rulership comes riches. All right, so we have, you know, wealth. You know, true wealth. We have things to look forward to, and things to keep working for. So, you know, ultimately, that's what we gotta stay focused on. Now, obviously, salvation. You know, that's like that's what we're working for ultimately. But a part of salvation is the wealth. You know, the riches and whatnot. All right, that comes with salvation. So, you know, hopefully this lesson was edifying. You know, well said. I want to give all praise, glory, honor to Yahweh, Bashmi outside, Bashmi Kakadash. Till next time, shalom.